Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and this is Prime. Survivors and descendants of the Tulsa Massacre may be one step closer to receiving reparations. Today, Georgia Congressman Hank Johnson introduced a bill in Congress that will provide survivors and descendants access to court to seek compensation for the massacre that left hundreds of black residents dead, more than 1,200 homes burned, and at least 8,000 people homeless. This was after Wednesday, when survivors called on Congress to help them get justice after several failed attempts in the courts due to statutes of limitations. In Tulsa, it was white locals who conducted the massacre, and the Tulsa Police Department and Sheriff's Department, as well as the National Guard, controlled by the state, that helped. So survivors understandably want them to pay. We often think about reparations as a national issue only. But what about state, local, even corporate reparations, institutional reparations? In March, Evanston, Illinois became one of the first U.S. cities to offer black residents reparations. The city council in Asheville, North Carolina voted unanimously last July in favor of reparations for black residents that would take the form of helping businesses and providing housing and health care. Other local governments, including Amherst, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island, and Iowa City, Iowa, are also considering whether to grant some form of reparations. Just 2 weeks ago, California approved a first-in-the-nation commission to study reparations statewide and how they might work. That same Judiciary Committee that heard from the Tulsa survivors on Wednesday recently advanced a bill that would create a commission to study the lingering effects of slavery. But you have to wonder, if you can't even get a bill passed through this Congress to form a commission to look into an insurrection that attacked this Congress, how likely is it we'll ever see a bill providing reparations for the descendants of the enslaved? So, is there more of a chance on the local and state level? Joining me now is Professor of Economics at Duke University and author of From Here to Equality: Reparations for Black Americans in the 21st Century, William Darity. Professor Darity, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You wrote in the New York Times last month that the average wealth in white families is nearly $1 million versus about $140,000 for black families. So even forgiving all the student loan debts, providing universal baby bonds to the entire population wouldn't be nearly enough to close the racial gap in this country, and that's why we need the federal government to step in with reparations. I can agree with that completely, wholeheartedly, full stop. But is there also a role for local, state, institutional, corporate reparations in that equation?
Yeah, or individual action as well. And the answer is yes, there is a role, but the primary role should be crafting a movement to lobby and petition Congress to establish a nationwide comprehensive program of reparations. If the focus is on elimination of the racial wealth gap, which I think is what must be central to a reparations plan, to eliminate this gap of approximately $840,000 between the average black and white household would require an expenditure in the vicinity of upwards of $11 trillion. And that might actually be the minimum baseline that's required to complete the goal. And so as a consequence, individual donations or the actions that are taken by state and local governments would not be able to meet the bill. For example, state and local governments' budgets taken collectively amount to about $3.1 trillion. And so they would have to spend all of their funds for their budgetary purposes for 4 consecutive years on a reparations project to be able to approximate the bill. And with respect to individual or organizational donations, let me just say this. If we had $1 billion donations on a monthly basis going into a reparations fund, it would take us 9 centuries to get to $11.2 trillion.
Wow. I mean, and listen, I understand, the math makes complete sense to me. I'm just talking about the political calculus of it. Like, you know, we're in the next couple of decades, we'll be at a point where 70% of the U.S. Senate will be responsible to just 30% of the population. 70% of the population will only have 30 U.S. senators. You know, the math starts to get very difficult for me because we can't even pass basic things like infrastructure bills right now that would help everybody in the country.
Well, I know that this is part.
You know, putting the math side apart, how does the political calculation work?
So this is actually part of your rationale for arguing that black people should remigrate to the southern states to alter the political calculus. But let me say this, there is actually some evidence of attitudinal change in the United States. The question is whether or not it's going to prove to be of an order that's sufficient to bring about a reparations plan. But if we go back to the year 2000, approximately 4% of white Americans endorsed reparations for black Americans, and that proportion had risen to about 16% in 2018. And today, the estimates that we are able to generate actually suggest that it's closer to 30%. So the direction seems to be the correct one in terms of creating a climate in which there's political feasibility for reparations. I'm just not certain if the direction will be sustained, but this is an environment that we really do need to build on to the extent that we can.
So, you know, that just calls to my mind, interest in the dilemma that always happens in American society. You know, people are egalitarian up to the moment that it starts to actually cost them something. Right? It becomes easy to say when it feels like it is the right thing to say, yes, I'm in favor of that. But when you go back to the public and say, well, this is what it's going to cost you, we have to make these sacrifices in order to get there, what are you willing to sacrifice? Then that attitude changes. We just had a fight over $15 minimum wage, whether to include that into a budget, which would have helped not only black people, but majority of those people helped would have been white people. But because it felt like giving people things, it felt like rewarding low-level work and people whose society doesn't necessarily value as much, people were against it, and they did not get enough votes to include it in the last kind of COVID bill. How do you get that attitude where it starts, where people put a price tag on something and say, okay, you say you want everybody not to be hungry. You say you want a 40-hour work week to be able to, people to be able to live off of that. But here's what it costs. How do we get over that hurdle?
So actually, there are two responses, I think. The first response is that I think people need to recognize that the history of this country was built on giving people stuff, handouts. But it's a history that built white wealth to the detriment of black wealth. Okay. So you know, we start with the Homestead Acts in 1862 that distributed 160-acre land grants to 1.5 million white families, leading to a situation in which, in the present moment, there are about 45 million living white Americans who are beneficiaries of the Homestead Act. And at the same time, black Americans were denied the 40-acre land grants for restitution for slavery that they were promised as redress for the years of bondage. And we can go down the line in terms of a set of government policies in the 20th century. The emphasis is on home ownership, and the federal government provides subsidies and loans to support home buying, to create a middle class, but they create a white middle class because of the discriminatory applications of these projects. So we've long given people handouts. It's just a question of who's received them. But the second response I'd like to make is that we can actually execute a reparations plan without necessarily raising taxes. We already know that in the midst of the pandemic, the federal government distributed a huge sum of money without increasing taxes. And during the Great Recession, an attempt was made to bail out the banks without raising taxes. And so the real issue is whether or not any new federal expenditure program produces inflation. And if we can design a reparations program appropriately, we can avoid the inflation risk. We don't necessarily have to impose significant costs on the population at large.
And also, you know, the giving out of massive amounts of money during the pandemic, you know, those bills were basically written overnight, you know, in terms, you know, legislative time. And they designed the way of distributing that money on a dime. That is often the argument about against reparations. How would you do it? It's so complicated. How do we figure it out? We figured out how to give away a ton of money during the pandemic in no time flat. Just write the checks. Is that does the pandemic blow a hole in the whole argument about we can't figure out how to do it?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic is a complete demonstration of the capability of the federal government to mobilize huge sums of money overnight and to get them into people's bank accounts. I would urge folks to look at the final chapter of the book that I've written with Kirsten Mullen that you mentioned at the beginning, From Here to Equality, where in the final chapter we actually sketch a detailed way in which a reparations program actually could be executed. And I think that the pandemic response that Congress has made really clearly shows that this is something that is feasible and attainable.
Professor Darity, thank you so much. So informative. Thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.